All right, guys, welcome to the CryoFX YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to show you how to connect some DMX and explain exactly how this DMX system works. It's not going to be according to a manual. It's going to be kind of off the charts, and we're going to just give you a recap of this, how we use it in the field and how things work, what methods we use to make it work, and all that good stuff. We're going to be using a Spark machine here as one of our examples. And the reason being is we actually have a client right now that has a question about connecting a Spark machine. So why not make a tutorial video for him, but also give one for you guys as well, because we do get asked these questions a lot of times. How do I connect my DMX? How does it work? What are the channel settings? So on and so forth. So this video is going to double. It's going to talk about how to connect a Spark machine to a DMX controller. You're definitely going to get that. But we're also going to talk to you about how the DMX actually works. What the channels mean, what it means on when you have a channel assignment on the controller, and what it means when you have a channel assignment on the unit itself. Now, we're not going to go into any advanced strategies here. This is really for the layman's people, and we're one of them, right? We're trying to do this easy. We're trying to make it efficient. We're trying to make it where it works. Now, if you want any other training on DMX controllers and how to rig them up for shows and do scenes and settings and all that, this is not the video for you. I'm sorry if that's what you were wanting. Too bad, so sad. But what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with a very basic DMX controller. This is the Chauvet Obey 3. There's other controllers out there. I will tell you what applies to just this controller and then what applies to other controllers. We have an Obey 40 just off the screen here. I may bring that on. It's just beat the hell. So definitely talk some shit in the comments and let us know what you think of that, because it's been through the ringer. But hey, it still works, right? DMX controllers in general, they all do the same functions for the most part. There's going to be scenes, settings, all these different things. We use DMX controllers in the special effects world for a very basic function. And that function is this. When it's connected and everything works, we are using slider 1, slider 2, slider 3, and any other sliders that are on the controller. I'm not trying to go through different scenes and different banks. What does a bank mean? Well, if you have 3 sliders right here, let's say that this controller did different banks. This one doesn't, but let's say it did. There'd be a button that would say bank 1, bank 2, bank 3. All that means is bank 1 is 1, 2, 3, sliders 1, 2, 3. Bank 2 means sliders 4, 5, 6. And then bank 3, 7, 8, 9. The problem with that is when you switch the different banks, wherever the slider is going to be wonky, because you got to reset it and you got to remember where it's at. I'm not trying to do all that. So we're trying to just get straight to the punch and use the sliders just as sliders. Basically, an on-off switch as a power for the unit. Not necessarily the power for the unit, but we're controlling it with DMX. So don't get it twisted there. Let's get this machine started up. The reason being is the machine's hot. I don't want to take a long time for the machine to heat up since it was already heated prior to the video. So what you would do is, this is an iSpark effects machine, and you've seen these before. This is what it looks like. Nothing fancy. Other machines are going to be similar to this, right? Every machine, you got a power cord. You plug the power cord in, and you turn the machine on, right? Let's make sure this thing has a weird... There we go. One of the feet's off of it. It's a rental unit. It's beat the shit. So, you know, you could tell that the equipment's been used. That's not the purpose of this video. Then you want to take your DMX cord. You're going to plug your DMX cord in. On this specific machine, what's going to happen when you plug the cord in, nothing's going to happen. But when you turn the controller on, it's going to start flashing a blue light. That means DMX is getting to the unit. Most units are going to tell you that, right? Maybe they have a red light. Maybe there's another indicator. Maybe something happens with the LCD screen. There's different features and different functions that are going to do different things on the machine when you connect DMX. But it will let you know that DMX is connected. Why is that important? Because if you have a problem with your DMX cable, if you have a shitty controller, if something else is going awry, well, when everything's connected and powered on and this light's not working, then you know that there's an issue, and then you can troubleshoot it, right? Start with the cord, the cheapest thing, new DMX cord. Then you go to the controller, all right? If the controller works and the cord works, well, then it's probably a problem with the unit. It's got to be one of these couple of issues. There's only a limited number of issues. And by the way, if there's the same issue on multiple machines, more than less, it's not going to be the machine itself. right? We have a lot of customers that contact us and they're like, hey, I got 5 units and all of them are reading the same fault, or all of them are not receiving DMX. I think they're all bad. That's not the case. I will tell you right now, it's just a pattern of numbers, right? The odds of all 5 machines going down at once are like slim to none. So that's just what I'll leave you with here. It's probably going to be something outside the machine. I was one machine with one issue, probably. But I digress, just an important piece of information to give you guys here. Power's connected, DMX is connected. The unit is connected to the DMX controller. Now, this DMX controller here is the Chauvet Obey 3. You have to do this when you're going to use this in the manual mode, right? This controller is meant to be used with lights and all sorts of other stuff. We're not using it with lights. We're using it with this. So to use it with just 1, 2, 3 sliders up and down to activate channels 1, 2, and 3, get it? 1, 2, 3. Channels 1, 2, 3 on the controller would be, you do channel 1 on here, 1, 2, 3. If this is a 2-channel unit, which means it requires 2 channels to operate, you're going to need 2 channels per unit. So if you address this to channel 1, then to control this unit is going to be channels 1 and 2 on the DMX controller. Now, if I set this unit to channel 2, but it takes 2 channels to control this unit, that's a steady. It doesn't change. What's going to happen is you got to go to the controller, and then channel 2 on the controller has to match channel 2, whatever this number is on the machine. I'm trying to say this in layman's terms. Whatever number is on the machine here, that is the first channel of the 2 channels that will control this unit, right? If you have a light that's 10 DMX channels and you address that light and the number on the light says 5, well, then it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to 15, because you have 10 channels. Channels 1, 2, 3, and 4 are not going to do anything on the DMX controller. So whatever number is on this machine is the number 1 channel that you start with on the DMX controller. And so if the machine says, hey, we have 2 channels, and the first channel heats the machine up, the second channel fires it, well, then guess what? If this is on channel 2, actually, let's do it right now. If that's on channel 2, channel 1 is not going to do anything on the DMX controller. Channel 1 on the DMX controller does not do anything. But channel 2, guess what? That will do something. Now, on this controller, you're probably like, wait a minute, nothing happened. There's a reason for that. Let's go back. And I'll pick up where I left off right here in a minute. So this controller itself, you have to do a couple of things to use it in manual mode, right? First, trying to get this so it doesn't slide away. First, you have to go to manual RGB. There's 4 buttons on the right. It's the second button up from the bottom. Manual RGB. You have to hit that button. Then you come down here. Let me remove this tape. Then it says macro. I need to hit that macro button. You need to have these 2 green lights showing. You guys, let me bring this a little bit closer. That's what it looks like, right? 3 buttons on the bottom. It's going to be the third one on the, or the one all the way to the right. Third one from the left, which is the farthest one to the right. This one. And then the second one up from the bottom, or third one down from the top. Green lights like that. Now this goes in manual mode, and we can control this DMX controller in manual mode. All that means in manual mode is we're just using the sliders. None of the other buttons do anything. And that's exactly what we want. Because in special effects, at least how we use it here, that's how we like it. Why? It's super easy, right? Every piece of equipment has its own channels, its own functions on their own channels, and then we just work with the sliders. So, now that we know that this DMX controller is on, because this is on channel 2, you tell me, and I'll listen. Because this is on channel 2, what is the first channel that's going to operate it on this DMX controller? It's going to be channel 2, right? Channel 1 does nothing, right? Now, if I go to channel 3, whoop, channel 3, channel 1, and channel 2 do nothing. If I go back to channel 2, boom. Well, clearly something happened, right? Channel 2 is the first channel of the 2 channels that does any control on this unit, which if it's a 2-channel unit and it says channel 1 heats and channel 2 fires, well, if I have channel 2 on here for the DMX, it's going to be 2 and 3. If I have channel 7, it's going to be 7 and 8. If I have channel 42, it's going to be 42 and 43. So that's how you know it. But we typically don't use that many pieces of equipment on our special effects stuff, at least when we're running this. And we try to have dedicated circuits and dedicated DMX control for any special effects, because I'm not trying to have fog machines mess up with a Spark machine or anything like that, or a light, a gobo light that somebody addressed wrong and it shot a signal down the line, and now we have a Spark machine that's going off or a flame machine going off. We don't want to get involved in that. So we have dedicated DMX circuits. For those of you that know what that is, that's great. For those of you that don't, that's fine as well. So now that we have, remember this was on channel 2. So channel 2 heats, channel 3 is going to fire. But guess what? It's not heated up enough. So I have to wait for it to heat up enough. This is typical with Spark machines. You have to wait for them to heat. Now, if I had another Spark machine that was down succession from this, I would go from the out, DMX out, into that machine. They normally don't work with wireless controllers by DMX, right? Some machines might, but most don't. You can't connect all the machines via DMX cable and then use a wireless remote. Some fog machines you can, but not these machines here, right? Not the Spark machines. So the green light's on, that means it is ready, at least with this machine. Other machines may do something different, right? Now it's ready, so I can fire it. Now, I'm not going to continue to fire it because there's cardboard box right above there, and that would violate safety. Definitely don't do that. I'm not trying to burn the warehouse down today. So, with that said, the purpose of the explanation of this video on DMX is so that you know that when you're using DMX, all this DMX controller does is send a signal out to each channel that is basically firing. We can get into the advanced portion of that, which talks about voltage and all that, but I'm not going to do that in this video, right? For the purpose of this video, when you send signals out to each channel, it's going to enact that channel or enable that channel or turn that channel on and off, right? For the purpose of the equipment, the channel's on and off. To more advanced, on, you know, dimming or anything else, the channel will have dimming, but we're not doing dimming. The firing does matter. On the firing channel, this could be low, and it goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up. So the channel that fires, at least with this machine and most other machines, the higher the channel goes on the slider, the higher that the sparks go. So it is somewhat of a dimming feature as well. Now, what's important and what else you need to know about this is this. If this machine is put on channel 1, right? Well, channel 2 doesn't do anything. It doesn't fire because channel 1 has to go up to heat it. And channel 1 is also the safety, right? So now that we are heating and the green light's on, now channel 2 will fire the machine on the controller. But if I add a second machine here, and I have that second machine or the third or the fourth or any other machine on channel 1 on the machine, if it says 001, every machine is going to do the same thing on the DMX controller. But if that second machine says 2 and this machine says 1, what happens? It doesn't automatically push it and block it off. Remember, each machine has 2 channels to do a feature. Channel 1 is heat, channel 2 is fire. Maybe the machine does something different where channel 2 is heat and channel 1 is fire. You have to read the manual. But for this machine, channel 1 is heat, channel 2 is fire. So if the second machine is here and that second machine has a 002 on it, right? Well, what would happen? Channel 2 would heat that machine and channel 3 would fire it. But what happens if this one's on 001? Guess what? If channel 1's up, and it's already heated like this, and I have the second machine with 002, well, if I want to heat that other machine, I need to activate channel 2, right? Well, of course, because this one's on channel 2, and the heat it would be channel 2 since that's the first channel that's in use. But guess what? If that was the case, let's pretend that that's the case here. If I push this up, I'm going to heat it, but I'm also going to fire this machine. I'm going to heat this machine, but I'm going to fire this one. Why? Because the second channel on this machine is fire, and it takes 2 channels, 1, 2, right? Channel 1 and channel 2 on the controller. The second machine is channels 2 and 3. Channel 2 overlapped on the 2 machines. All the DMX controller is doing is sending a signal. So whatever is overlapped on that is going to get activated at the same time. So you have to understand this when you're using equipment, is what is the equipment? What is the DMX channel the equipment is set to? And also, how many channels does that equipment take, right? Some gobo lights take 12 or 15 channels. So automatically you have a 15 channel blockout that you can't use. Otherwise, when you activate certain things, it's gonna make that light do certain things as well. The same thing with this. Thank God our equipment only takes 1 channel or 2 channels. We got LED jets and some other equipment that takes maybe 5 or 6. But the thing here is this. When you are using this, you have to be cognizant of this. If you're using this with fog machines, I would advise this. The fog machine itself is probably going to take so many channels, 4 channels, 5 channels, 6 channels. I don't know what the channels are. It's going to say what the channel assignment is in the manual. It'll have normally a table and it'll break it down. You count those channels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you know, if that fog machine is going to be on channel 1, if the fog machine itself says channel 1, you can't put any of these Spark machines on any of the first 5, 6, or 7 channels or whatever it requires for that fog machine. Why? Because if you activate these, you're also going to be doing something on the fog machine. Therefore, I would always put the Spark machines first, channel 1, right off the bat. You want them controlled together? This is 001, the other one is 001, boom. It's called ADD for address. Other machines will say ADD for address. These ones, it's just simple. It just reads out right here. Now, the other thing is this. If you're going to be putting fog machines in line with these, that's great. That's fine. What you can do is put these to 001, the 2 Spark machines, and then put the fog machine to 003. Have that on channel 3, so that way it's 3, 4, 5, whatever channels it needs. Now, if you were using a controller like this, and you only had 3 channels, well, if the other channels didn't matter and channel 1 on the fog machine was to fire it, then that's okay. You're just not going to be able to control anything else because the other channels don't reside here, right? But let's show you our nice nifty board that has screws inside it. Comments below if you like our controller. I could sell it to you today for 500 bucks, and you'd probably think I'm crazy. Yeah, right, but it still works. So all jokes aside, this controller, if you're using the Obey 40, what you would do is turn it on, and then you would just do bank 1 at the top. So fixtures all the way top left, you push this one, that green light lights up, and that allows you to use these channels right here. I'm not going to get into what the different banks mean. We have page A and page B. That's what I talked about earlier. I called it a bank. Some of them call it banks. I mean, there's different names, right? But page A, page B, I don't like that because if I have page B, this would be another set of sliders on a higher set of channels, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm not trying to get into that because then the first set of faders, I have to go back, I have to readjust. So for the purpose of how we use the controllers, if you're going to use an Obey 40 like this, you're basically going to get 8 channels out of it. There's other controllers out there like scene setters and show setters and all that. They got 16 channels, 24 channels. They're great. Why? They actually have more than that. Technically, they say that they got 100-something channels. This has 40 channels, right? Obey 40 channels, but I'm only using 8, right? Because I only want the sliders here. That's it. And then the safety, I turn this off. Sliders don't do anything. So it actually suffices for what we need it for. But if you have 2 different Spark machines and you want them to do different things, then don't put them to 001. You need to have one on 001 and the other one on 003. So 001, because it's 2 channels, these 2 channels, or the first 2 sliders, would control it. And then the second 2 sliders would control the second one. So if you want them both to heat, 1 and 3 would go up. And if you want them both to fire, even though they were individually DMX, then you would just do 2 and 4. Right? But if you wanted one of them to fire, just 2. The other one, just 4. And so that's how you would work with DMX. If you're going to put your fog machine on here, these 2 channels are going to be for the fog machine. If this is 001, you come here, you do your you do your Spark machine on 001, right? Which requires 2 channels. The Spark machine requires it. Heat, fire. So then what you do is you put the fog machine, you address the fog machine. It's called addressing the fog machine to 003. Which is your 3rd channel, and that would give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels technically to work with, at least on the Obey 40. If you get another DMX controller, then you'll have another DMX controller. But that's how the DMX works, right? And the plugs themselves, yes, can you use regular microphone cables? You can. I don't advise it. When you get longer runs, the impedance starts jacking with the signal. We don't recommend going over like 400 feet with DMX. I mean, could you stretch it to 800? We've done 800 or 1,000. We start running into problems, right? DMX splitters, you can use those. They just split the signal to go out the different pieces of equipment. What else? If you have any faults on this machine, I might as well cover it. This particular machine here, if it tips over, what's going to happen? Well, maybe it doesn't do anything, right? Which is crazy because it should. So let's see. So what's interesting is it did not do anything, which that is a feature in the machine that should have enacted. And what it would have done is it would have set an F6. F6 is a tilt error and mechanism inside that basically knows when the machine tilts. This one is great. I mean, I could use this machine all over the place. Actually, it wouldn't, because the way the mechanics work inside wouldn't work. But I will tell you that any machine that gives you a specific fault, there's a certain fault code for different faults. F1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Depends on the machine. There might be more. There might be other errors that pop up, or just a light. This all depends, but that's not the purpose of this video. Last but not least, if you have granules that you're keeping in a bag, keep those granules in a bag without the air, no dust, no dirt, no moisture, and you can reuse those again later. We safe keep the machines by turning them upside down, emptying the granules out into something that actually saves them. We put them in a bag, and then we run the machine. There is a clear feature. So on this particular machine, you'll see it. It'll go CLE. So it's probably 10 down from the top, or the slider comes just down from the top on the heat feature. What does that do? That runs the corkscrew that goes through the heater. It just doesn't run the corkscrew in the top, a hopper, to put more sparks and granules into it. Or you empty the machine completely out and then just run the machine until there's no more sparks. You see it about like this, shake it, no more, boom, you're good. That's the best way to keep your machine nice and clean and safe and running great, right? If you don't want to do that, well, you'll probably be contacting us to try to fix your machine. I don't advise that. But thanks, guys, for watching this video. If you found value on this, leave a comment below. I did talk fast. You'll probably want to go back and you'll want to look at it. But this covers a couple of things in one: how to set up DMX, how the DMX works, so on and so forth. If you want to see any other videos on our channel, leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see, and we'll most likely make it for you. We'll have a determination and see what works. Safekeeping, I'll show you how to turn this down. Heat off, machine off, disconnect the wires, bam, let the machine cool down, then put it in the box. Thanks, guys.